Welcome back to another advocacy update. I'm Jen Goodale from MOAA's Government Relations team, and joining me today is our President and CEO, Lieutenant General Brian Kelly, or BK, because that's a mouthful. So let's quickly chat about advocacy in action, and we'll start off with the very basics. What does MOAA do, and why is advocacy so important?
Yeah, so here at MOAA, our main mission is to preserve and protect the earned benefits, those ones that are earned for our military members, their families, our veterans, our retirees, our surviving spouses. And so every day, our government relations team, that where you work and others here, are over interacting on the Hill, talking to our elected members of Congress, and we're working with the Department of Defense and the Veterans Administration, making sure that we're working on all those things that are designed, all the bills, all the discussions around how do we preserve and protect those earned benefits that we think are so important to those folks who are members of MOAA and beyond, the entire military community.
One of the things I want to chat about, though, specifically is the Advocacy in Action Day. So that's when MOAA goes to the Hill with our council and chapter members, and we talk about a couple specific topics. So could you just what did we talk about last year?
Yeah, so last year we had a chance, and like you said, you guys are over there talking every day about things, but once a year when we do Advocacy in Action, we have an opportunity to talk about a couple specific issues, and last year we had a chance to talk about restoring basic allowance for housing to 100% funding. You know, it's been cut down to 95%, and we think it should be back up to its full funding for our military members and their families. And the second issue we got to talk about was the TRICARE and the TRICARE pharmacy. You know, we've seen a lot of erosions of medical benefits, and one of those we think has been to our pharmacy benefits that really impact a lot of our retirees and others in the community in rural areas and those kinds of things. And so we had a chance to go over and make sure our members of Congress had an understanding of what we thought the impacts, negative impacts, were to reducing that TRICARE benefit.
We're very pleased in this year's NDAA to see that in the House and Senate version, even though it's not finalized yet, language to get an independent report on what the impacts of that TRICARE pharmacy cut were. We've also got a Senate companion for the BAH Restoration Act, which was one of our big asks during AIA, and we've seen some language in the NDAA again to restore 1%, which we're willing to go 1% each year. So we'll keep hounding Congress to make sure it sticks in there.
Yeah, but I think if you grade us on that, that's a pretty good report card, right? We've worked on two issues, and both of those issues, although they're going to take multiple years of work, are into the language and are we're seeing action, which is what we want to see. And so the report card's pretty good for us on that.
And why do you think it's so impactful to bring people in from all areas of the country to Capitol Hill to talk to their lawmakers?
You know, we talked about your government relations team is over there all the time, but when you're a lawmaker over there, who you really want to hear from is your constituents. Who are the people who got you elected, who vote for you, right? You want to hear from what's going on in those states. So, you know, the members in Tennessee and Florida and Texas and California, they're happy to hear from MOAA. What they're really happy to hear from, and they want to know and care about the opinion of, is their constituents. What do those folks who live in their districts think? What do those folks care about? What do they need to be working on Capitol Hill? And so there's great power. And so for us at MOAA to have 362,000 members that we can, match up with their congressional elected leaders and have them talk to them in various ways is really powerful.
So what are we going to be talking about next year for AIA?
Well, again, you know, I think we have a pretty good pulse. You guys in particular have a great pulse on what are the issues that are going on and what's the Congress working on, what's DOD and VA working on. But what we don't have a good pulse on is what do we see in the field? What do our folks who are in our chapters and councils, what do they hear locally? What are they most concerned about? Maybe they live near a base. What do they hear from the locals on the base, the members who are currently serving? And so we'd love to get input from our field, from our chapter and council members to help us shape what topics we're going to cover during Advocacy in Action.
And we often seek that kind of input from our currently serving spouse advisory councils or our surviving spouse council. But we've kind of given them a little bit more guidance on this. And so can you talk a little bit about what an ideal topic for AIA is from MOAA's perspective?
Yeah, so we certainly want topics that are going to have a broad, wide-ranging impact, right? All of us have had local issues. You know, I go to the pharmacy here at Fort Belvoir, and I might get frustrated with the line at the Belvoir pharmacy
with the machine not working,
right? But what we want is those wide-ranging impacts that are going to be really help the most people in our military community, the most from our membership. And we also want topics that we can, succinctly work on and talk about during that single day. When we do advocacy in action and we have all our members here and we're going to the Hill, we have to have topics that we know we can interact with and make a difference within Congress.
Well, really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us. If you want to weigh in on what our advocacy and action topics should be for 2024, please click the link below. And if you're enjoying these videos, make sure you like and subscribe so that you can stay tuned to what we're doing here at MOAA.